Hello everyone, welcome to your mathematics class. Today we are going to begin our new chapter, Congruence of Triangles, which is chapter number 7. Now first let's understand what is the meaning of congruence. So you can say congruence in other words as identity, which means if two or more than two objects are similar in their size and shape, they are said to be congruent. For an example, if we have any object with this shape and then another object with same shape and size, and if we pick one object and put it over the another object, or we can say if we superpose one on another and they overlap each other completely, then they are said to be congruent. So that means we can say if two objects are copy of one another, they can be congruent. For an example, if we take this block and then another block and both of them are same in their shape and in their size. So what happens when I pick up the blue block and superpose it over the yellow block? It will overlap it completely because they have same shape and same size. Hence, they will said to be congruent. Now, these two blocks are congruent to each other. This yellow block is congruent to this blue one, and the blue one is congruent to this yellow one. So, the objects which are identical or copy of one another are always known as congruent objects, or that is that particular property is known as congruence. So here in this chapter we are going to study about the congruence of triangles. But before this, let us understand congruence of few another shapes. There are a number of geometrical shapes which can be considered for congruency. So first let us understand congruency or congruence of plane figure. So what is the meaning of plane figure? Any 2D figure which can be superposed to another. For suppose, if I have a figure like this and there is one more figure which is similar to it. Now how we will find out whether it is congruent figures or not? So in order to find that, what we can do, we can just place a tracing paper over this figure and trace it down, and then put that paper on another figure and see that whether this side is lying over the similar side of the another shape, or these sides are overlapping each other. So all the sides should overlap whenever we are placing the tracing paper over the other shape. If they are overlapping, that means the given figures are in congruency, or we can say they are congruent. Now this is the one way of finding out whether the objects or the given figures are congruent to each other or not. Another method to find it out, if we know the dimension of different sides, for suppose if this side is of 5.5 centimeter, this is 2 centimeter, this is 2 centimeter, this is 5.5 and this is 4 centimeter. Similarly, the sides of these, another figure is also given as 5.5 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 5.5 and 4 centimeter. Now we can see all the dimensions of these two figures are same and their shape is also same. So we can directly say that yes, these two figures are congruent to each other, and they have the property of congruency. So this is congruence of plane figures. Now suppose if one of its side do not have same dimension, if it is 6.5 centimeters, that means all other sides are similar, but this one side is not similar in length. That means in size. So these two figures will not said to be congruent. These will not be congruent. So by this we understood any figure which is identical in shape and have same size, or we can say same dimensions, they are always congruent to each other. But if their shape or size, if any of these things are different, then those figures will not be congruent to each other. So whenever we have to write that this figure is congruent to the second one, so what we can do, for suppose the name of this figure is A and the name of this figure is B, so I can write it as, if they are congruent, A is congruent to B. Now you all must be wondering, what is this? So this is symbol of congruence. So this is the symbol which tells us whether the two figures are in congruence to each other or not in congruence to one another. Now next topic is congruence of line segments. As we did congruence of plane figures, in the same way we will understand the congruence of line segments. Now what are line segments? We all know that so line segments are a straight path with two endpoints. So if I draw something like this, as if, and name of this is A and B. So is it a line segment? Yes, it is a line segment because it is a straight path and it is having two endpoints, A and B. So that means this is a line segment. Now if I have another line segment, CD, and we have to find whether AB is congruent to CD or not. So what we can do, again in the same way, we can just trace any of the line segment, whether CD or AB. Just put the tracing paper, trace this line segment and put it on the another line segment. If they overlap each other, that means they are congruent. And if they do not overlap each other, that means they are not in congruency. Now, why this activity of tracing any line segment is required? Because in the first view, we cannot say that AB is congruent to CD because they are looking similar in shape and size, but they may not be. If I tell you the length of AB is 5 centimeters and length of CD is 4.5 centimeters. So they may not look different in their shape because they have a little difference of 0.5 centimeter only. But whenever you will draw line segment with the help of tracing paper, then you can find it out that line segment is not overlapping the another one. So that means they are not congruent to each other. And the second method is, if we know the dimensions of any given line segments and we can see that there is a difference between their dimensions, so we can directly say that AB, this is the symbol for line segment, is not congruent to line segment CD. I hope you all are understanding this. Now, if there is any line segment CD of this shape, so we can directly say yes, AB is not congruent to CD because we can see that AB is smaller and CD is bigger. So they are not similar in shape and size. Shape may be similar but size is not similar. So they cannot be said to be congruent. Now if we have two line segments equal in shape and size, this is of 6 centimeter and this is also of 6 centimeter, then yes, we will say that AB is congruent to CD. And we'll put the symbol in between, which is symbol of congruency. So side or line segment AB is congruent to line segment CD because we know the length of these two line segments are similar. So by this we conclude, if two line segments are equal in length, they are always congruent. Right? If the length of any two line segments are equal, then those line segments will always be congruent to one another. Now in the same way, if I say that line segment AB is congruent to line segment PQ, this is some line segment AB and this is another line segment PQ, and they are congruent to each other. Now by this property or by this given statement, what you can conclude? You can conclude if line segments are congruent, so they must be having same length. Correct? So that means if it is given to you that line segments are congruent, so you can directly say that length of AB is equal to length of PQ. So you can write length of AB is equal to length of PQ, whatever it would be. So that means this property of congruency can run Vice versa, that if length of line segments are equal, so they can said to be congruent. And if it is given that line segments are called congruent, then you can say that their lengths are equal. So this is congruence of line segments. Now next topic for this chapter is congruence of angles. Now we understood congruence of line segment. So we should proceed towards angles. Now what are angles? Angles are those which are formed by intersection of two rays. If these two rays AB and BC intersect each other at point B, or you can call it a vertex, so this is the angle which is formed by the intersection of these two rays. And this will be called as angle. This is angle. Right? Now come to congruence of angle. We already understood congruence of plane figures and congruence of line segments. So again, if there are two angles of same shape and size, so we can find out whether they are congruent to each other or not. Similarly, as we did in the previous topics, we can find it out with the help of tracing paper or by knowing the dimension of angles. Now we are having two angles. One is angle B and another is angle Q. If we don't know the dimension of angle B and angle Q, so what we will do? We will just put the tracing paper over it, trace it, the angle PQR, and then put it over angle ABC. And if they overlap each other, that means they are congruent in nature. And if they do not overlap each other, that means they are not congruent in nature. Now what if dimension of angle is given or measure of angle is given? If this is an angle of 60 degree and this is an angle of 50 degree. So what will happen if we superpose this 50 degree angle on 60 degree? They will not overlap each other. What is the meaning of overlapping? That this ray QP should fall on ray AB and this ray QR should fall on ray BC when you overlap two angles. And this measurement of angle should also be equal. So this is the meaning of overlapping or superposing. So now we can see that both the angles have different measure. So if I put this angle PQR over this angle ABC, they will not overlap each other. So that means angle ABC is not congruent to angle PQR. Now you can see the angle P is vertex P is written in between because whenever we want to represent any angle, so that particular angle's vertex should come in between always in your name. You cannot write it as angle BAC because you are not talking about the angle which is formed at vertex A. You are talking about the angle which is formed at vertex B. So you will always write ABC. So that is why I had written angle ABC is not congruent to angle PQR because in this one angle is formed at vertex Q. Now if the measurement of these two angles are similar, then they are said to be congruent. Because now when we superpose one angle on another, it will completely cover the other angle or completely overlap each other. Hence, in the same way as we did in line segments, we can conclude that if measures of two angles are equal, then those angles are said congruent. And if it is already given to you that two angles are congruent to each other, so you can directly say if angles are congruent, that means the measure of two angles are equal. So these are two things which you can conclude from congruency of any shape or figure, that if the dimension is given to you and they are equal, that means if dimensions are equal, so the objects are congruent. And if it is given to you that objects are already congruent, so you can find out that the dimensions are equal. So these are two vice versa things which you can conclude for every geometrical figure. Now let's take this topic further. We understood about congruence of line segment, congruence of angles. Now come to congruence of triangles. Till now we understood the meaning of congruence completely, that when one object overlap the another one completely or superpose it, the two objects are said to be congruent. So in the same way, if we have two triangles which may be identical in shape and size, so we can find out whether they are congruent to each other or not. The first method was the tracing paper method. We can trace one triangle on it, put it on the another one, and if they are overlapping, that means the given triangles are congruent. And if they are not overlapping, the given triangles are not congruent. And what is the second method now? In line segment, the second method was of knowing the dimension or the length of line segment, and in angles was the method of knowing the measure of angles. But now in triangles, we have different angles and different line segments. As we can see, both these triangles have different 3 sides and 3 angles. This first triangle ABC is having 3 sides, AB, BC and CA. And this triangle PQR is having 3 sides, PQ, QR and RP. Similarly, they have 3 different angles. Angle A, angle B and angle C. You can write angle like this, or you can write the full name like BAC, ABC and ACB. These could be BCA and CBA. So they are same thing. So you can write any one. Here in this another triangle, it is angle P, angle Q and angle R. These are 3 different angles. And they also have different vertices. So the 3 different vertices of triangle ABC are A, B and C, and 3 different vertices of triangle PQR, P, Q and R. These are vertices, these are sides and these are angles. Right? So in triangles we have different dimensions. We have vertices, we also have sides, we have angles as well. Now the point is, for making any 2 triangles congruent, which dimension should be equal? Whether the vertices should be equal, whether the length of side should be equal, or whether the measurement of angle should be equal. Which one or more than one dimension should be equal to make these triangles congruent? So before going into the dimensions or the measurement of these different dimensions of a triangle, first let's understand it that when we are superposing one triangle over the other, then what should happen to make them congruent? If I pick triangle PQR and superpose it over ABC, what should happen? This vertex P should lie or overlap vertex A. This vertex B should overlap, or you can say vertex Q should overlap vertex B. And vertex C should be overlapped by vertex R. Now all the three vertices are overlapped. This side PQ should fall over side AB. Side PQ should fall over side AB. Side QR should fall over side BC, and side PR should fall over side AC. Then these two triangles can said to be congruent, because if these three vertices and these three sides are falling or overlapping each other completely, then these triangles are congruent in nature, because we have already studied in line segment, in angles, and in congruence of plane figure that when we superpose one object over another, it should completely overlap it. If it is overlapping, then they are said to be congruent, and if they are not overlapping, they are not said to be congruent. Hence, this is the obvious thing that if vertex P is overlapping A and vertex Q is overlapping B, then this side PQ is falling on side AB. This is the obvious thing, that when vertices are overlapping each other, so these sides will be overlapping each other. And these vertices and sides are said to be corresponding vertices and corresponding sides and corresponding angles. Now what happens if two triangles are not similar or congruent? If this is one triangle PQR and this is another triangle ABC, are they congruent in nature? No, they are not congruent in nature, because if I pick this triangle PQR and overlap it over a triangle ABC or superpose it over ABC, this will not overlap triangle ABC completely. Now you may say that if you superpose ABC over PQR, it will overlap PQR completely, but we all know that this is a bigger triangle and this is a smaller triangle. So if I superpose this ABC, it will overlap PQR, but if I flip that side, then I will be able to see the extended dimensions of this triangle ABC. After overlapping, it could look something like this. This will be PQR. So these triangles are not congruent, and we can directly say, because we are able to identify it with the help of their shape or size. Now the point is only about the congruent triangles. If these are two triangles, ABC and PQR, you can take any name, M and O. Let me take M and O now. Now, if vertex M is falling on vertex A or vertex A is falling on vertex M, it is a vice versa process. So you can superpose MNO or ABC, doesn't matter. Any one can be superposed. So these will said to be corresponding vertices. Corresponding vertices. A and M Another pair of corresponding vertices is B and N. And the third is C and O. These three pairs are of corresponding vertices of two congruent triangles. I'm already saying that these two triangles are congruent. That means they are overlapping or superposing each other. Now we have to understood that whatever vertex is overlapping the another one, they are said. So they are said as corresponding vertices. Now as the side MN will fall on side AB, so these will be known as corresponding sides. Now which is the first pair of corresponding side? AB and MN. So we will write AB and MN. Second pair, you can take any one, AC and MO. And the third one is BC and NO. Correct? Just keep this in your mind. If you are saying AB, that means you will write the name of another side as MN, not NM. Correct? AB falls on MN, AC falls on MO, and BC falls on NO. Next, we have corresponding angles. Now, if vertex M is falling on vertex A, that means angle M is falling on angle A, and they become corresponding angles. So, first pair of corresponding angles is angle A and angle M. Second pair, angle B and angle N. And the third pair, angle C and angle O. These are three corresponding angles of two congruent triangles. So, now we understood that for congruency there is some correspondence. As in triangles, if two triangles are congruent, so they have three correspondences. First is corresponding vertices, second is corresponding sides, third is corresponding angles. Now we can write